Hello and welcome to Footy Judgmo, everybody. We have been waiting for this stream. It's team of the season time. But we can't just pick Man City because they're top, or Liverpool or Arsenal, as people want to do. People just want to say, yeah, we can just pick Manchester City. They're the best team in the league. Big up everybody that is joined, of course, from This Is Football stream. Hit that like button. I'm here joined with a panel, mostly members, of course. Even Philip was a member, of course. He's still a member, if I'm not mistaken. But from Toon Tactics TV, welcome everybody that is here. Mark from United, of course. Cash, Liverpool. Pax, Arsenal, and Ramon, Spurs. We got a variety of people, and myself, as people call me, neutral, but with agendas, of course. But big up everybody that is joined. Let's talk team of the season. First, let's just establish one thing. I'm going to go around the panel and ask them a couple of questions. Who is the best team in the league, though? There's 1 point separating Manchester City from Arsenal and Liverpool. I'm actually going to start with Pax, who's an Arsenal fan. Who do you think? Welcome people that first joined us. Welcome everybody. The first time, Cash, Pax, and Mark, of course, are here. Pax, who is the best team in the league?
Well, if you're going by top of the table, definitely Man City.
It's only 1 point. You cannot go by top of the table. It's only 1 point.
Hey, man, 1 point's still enough to win a league. It don't matter. At this moment, they're probably the best team. Probably playing the best football. Before Spurs or the whole team got injured, but at the moment, I have to say Man City.
Cash, Liverpool fan, well, what are you saying?
I want to say Liverpool, but it'll be obvious. But for me, performance-wise, I guess Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Chelsea are doing. They play good.
Did you really say Chelsea?
Yeah, I said Chelsea. I saw them for the past few games. They were like performing well, like performance-wise, okay. But team of the season for me, I have to stick with Liverpool. They are like from last year, how they become to this particular position is really like admirable.
Chelsea are 10th. What are you talking about? What is going on here?
No, I'm talking about performance base. I would like to see like the Chelsea, but for the team of season means I'm definitely gonna support Liverpool.
All right, listen, Mark. Well, who do you think is the best team in the league? Is it actually Manchester City though?
Actually, I was going to say Liverpool because I think they have the best attack, most consistent attack so far in the league. Their defense has been letting them down. That's why they've been conceding so many goals. But if I had to say they rebuilt their midfield this summer and they've been performing really well. So I had to say Liverpool. But Man City is at the top. So, everyone is going to pick Man City. You know what I mean? I'm not an Arsenal fan, so I won't pick Arsenal. Definitely.
Here you go. Then Shimpila is saying, I will say Liverpool has impressed me the most. What if Liverpool, Philip, didn't get that goal chopped away from Luis Diaz?
Yeah.
You could have been top and we would have been sitting here and having a different discussion.
Yes, I watched Liverpool. I think they are definitely improving. I watched them against Everton, even though that was a slow game. But I like what they're doing in terms of how Trent Alexander is interchanging with Szoboszlai. They're trying to be a lot more methodical in their approach in terms of games. So they're not quite as quick, but when they need to turn it on, they do. And that's what's impressive about them. I think people are a little bit too hungover about this mythical number 6 that people feel that they need to have. I think even though it will improve the team possibly, but I think they are kind of forming a structure of their own. Klopp has changed the team a little bit, and they're doing they've adjusted and doing a lot more better. But do they deserve to be top just yet? I don't think the table lies. And but obviously
the table can lie if you get cheated, by the way. It's actually true. It's actually true. People just forget that. Like, because it's we're in the beginning, there is not a big sample, right? One game, 1 point, one decision go against you.
Yes.
Even if you're Manchester City, like Manchester City fans say, but we lost against Wolves and this guy should have been sent off.
Yeah.
We could have been at 4 points ahead. everybody will play their way. But because of now, the table lies. There are a lot of things that people just. Aston Villa now, for example, they are 5th, right? They have been impressive at home, but can you put them as the 5th best team in the league? Brighton as well, because the sample is too small. I think actually the table can lie at the moment. Do we actually believe that Aston Villa will finish? Do we believe Chelsea will finish 10th? The table lies.
No, I think it's absolutely true. I think, though, someone might argue if you turn it around and say, but Liverpool did have 90 minutes against Tottenham to turn it around, and they didn't. And then, we can see as Newcastle fans, Trent Alexander should have got sent off against us, and we should have been playing 9-man Liverpool and would have won that game, and so they wouldn't be anywhere. So it swings and roundabouts, I think. But I do think Liverpool are an excellent team. I agree with you on Villa. I was going to say, if we're not talking about necessarily the best team in terms of the quality, but maybe the team that's excelling, I think it's Villa. I think they are well structured, functioning team. Ollie Watkins all of a sudden has become a lethal predator, and actually has been carrying on that form from last season. And obviously they've got a great manager. I think they're only getting better. So I think Villa. I think the teams that are getting nervous about playing at the moment, at this moment in time, will probably be Villa, Man City, and Liverpool.
Yeah. Okay. Listen, let's start with that team of the season, people. Here are the rules. You can only have 2 players of each club, other than the goalkeeper can be from. You can have 3 players, including the goalkeeper. Just let's put that in mind. We're going to go around the panel. We'll see what everybody has an argument with. Of course, it's going to take us a long time to try to get everybody's opinion, but we're going to try to get different people's opinion. Please get involved in the chat, because I want to hear arguments in the chat. I just don't want to hear votes. I want to hear arguments. Get involved with us. Make sure to hit that like button. We have over 200 people watching us, and we're not even on 100 likes. I think that's embarrassing, to be honest. So hit that like button, people. Get us to 100 likes right off the bat. It helps the channel move to the more viewers. So hit that like button, please, for us. We're going to see, but let's start with the goalkeeper. And I want to have names, and I'm going to start with Ramon here. Ramon, which goalkeeper should we consider first before we vote?
Okay, there's only one consideration. Tottenham wouldn't have 26 points at the moment if it wasn't for one person, and that's Vicario. If we had Hugo Lloris in goal, doesn't matter how good Maddison's been, how good Van der Ven, Udogie's been. He's been clutch in games against Luton. He made crucial saves against Sheffield United, even Brentford, his first game where we got a point. He's whereas the last couple of seasons we've had Lloris, and Lloris has just clanger after clanger, howler after howler, and he's been a great servant for us, but he was really tail spinning towards the end of his career with Spurs. He's still on our books, and we need to get rid of him ASAP. But yeah, Vicario, the fact that this young guy's come for whatever, less than 20 million, come from a different league, and he's hit the ground running. I think we should just go on to the defenders now.
How many clean sheets do you have?
It's not about clean sheets. Come on, let's not stop. GA clean sheets 6, 8, 10. I'm old school. I have an eye test.
I think clean sheets are old school.
And what he's done at things.
You get golden gloves for a reason, isn't it? But you get golden gloves for a reason, though, isn't it? Like for clean sheets, it's not old school. It's just. But that's what it is. No,
but clean sheets can be the way the team is set up. The way one of the great defenses was the Chelsea defense, but that was set up Mourinho way. So Crystal Palace keeper could be in the conversation because I think he's got one of the highest clean sheets in the league.
No,
but I think the way that Tottenham play, high line, you need a sweeper keeper and stuff like that. So I think he's in the conversation. He's probably just above Alisson in the conversation. So I'd probably give it to Vicario.
Anybody else want to chime in? Why you guys are silent?
Yeah, no, I'll say for me, if
are we allowed to just interrupt because
Yeah, you are. You are.
Yeah. I mean, if we're gonna say like clean sheets don't matter, then that's like having a plumber that can't fix pipes, I think it's important. I think Nick Pope leads the race. He's not a flashy name, but he leads the race currently in terms of 5 clean sheets in the league, commanding in his box, safe pair of hands, and he's got obviously all the stats to prove it at the moment. Obviously, there'll be quality goalkeepers that people will rank above him in terms of Alisson and others. Those are the obvious names. But if we're talking about outcomes in terms of stats and everything else, but also on the eye, what you have seen, I think there's nobody better than Nick Pope.
Are we just basing this all on just this year? Because, if we're going off historical information, obviously Alisson would probably be the obvious choice. So that's what I'm wondering, where this debate's heading. Like, where's the fine line? Because I'm more heading off to Vicario. Like, personally, I think he's awesome. I mean, Pope's the man. Like, he's good. But I'm probably going to lean more towards Vicario if it's just based off those two.
I actually don't think there's anybody close to Alisson, even Vicario.
Yeah, that's
I think
what I mean.
actually Vicario is not even as good as Alisson at all. And the fact that Ramon mentioned something about because Lloris is bad, your argument is that because Lloris is bad, Vicario is good. That's not an argument. That shouldn't be a valid argument. It should be Vicario is better than Alisson. Can you sit here and tell me that this season Vicario has been better than Alisson? I am not talking clean sheets because both of them have the same clean sheets. I'm not talking about this and that. I'm talking about, do you think that Vicario has been a better goalkeeper than Alisson?
Definitely no. But there's goalkeepers, they like judged by like the more clean sheet they have, or it's just how they are performed.
Well, all I can tell you guys is that Onana has the same clean sheets or more than Vicario and Alisson. So is anybody here going to tell me that Onana has been a better goalkeeper? So that scrapes the clean sheet out of the window. It's done. It's over, right? Done. Don't tell me clean sheets.
Exactly. Because I was going to talk about that. Not that clean sheets don't matter. It's just that if we're talking about performances overall in the season, I would have to say that actually Vicario would be more in line than anyone else because of where Tottenham was. They were on top of the league based off of his goalkeeping as well. He was critical in their performances. So if we're arguing based on general performance and totally on where the team is in the league, then Vicario is there, and as well as Alisson would be there. But if we're talking about the best keeper overall, it has to be Alisson.
By the way, even in these 12 games, I think actually Alisson has outperformed Vicario for many reasons. Actually, Liverpool's defense has been leaking chances in the beginning of the season. Alisson has been saving them, right? Vicario, the defense in front of him has been stronger, actually, than Liverpool, but he conceded 5 more goals, which is 50% more goals. Right?
Yeah, barring the last 2 games, though, because Romero was on a red card and Udogie is on a red card.
Fair point. But in my opinion, Alisson has been saving more, has been saving Liverpool more this year. We've been saying that the defense of Liverpool is leaky.
True.
And Alisson has been saying, but let's vote on it. Let's vote on it.
As well.
Let's vote. Do you guys? I'm voting Alisson right here, and it's free. It's a free world, right?
Count me in.
Okay, Cash is Alisson. Ramon.
I'll go Alisson as well.
Vicario.
Philip.
Yeah, Alisson.
And Pex.
Ramsdale, Vicario.
It's 2 for 4, so it's Alisson being chosen. Muhammad Al-Azabi here is blessing us with the super chat. Thank you, Muhammad, for the super chat, for the good donate, for the super sticker. Absolutely magnificent. Thank you, Muhammad, for the support of the channel, people. Your support is really appreciated for the channel to keep us going. Make sure to like the video first. Get us to 100 likes so we can get more people watching. Thank you, Muhammad, for the super chat. Muhammad Azabi. Thank you so much for the super chat. Really appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much. So we're going with Alisson, we said, right? That's the vote for everybody.
Yeah.
It is Alisson, yes. Oh, yes. Let me just put that in so we can get Alisson in here. It's Alisson.
Hey, first point to Liverpool, eh?
Alisson as a goalkeeper. Here we go. Alisson is the one. So now we have to decide on the formation we're going to play. How do people think that we should play, actually? I think
most of our teams probably play 4-3-3.
Modern game is 4-3-3.
Yeah, modern day
4-3-3.
4-3-3.
But just realize that we don't have. I faced this yesterday when I was doing with Grizz. There are not a lot of good fullbacks in the league, and we'll come to that. We'll come to it. But thank you so much. Yeah, if you guys think that we should play 4-3, I'm gonna put it to 4-3-3 then. 4-3-3 right there, and I'm not gonna decide. Or you guys want 4-3-3 like this with 2 8s or 2 10s or something?
I mean, does it
4-2-3-1?
matter that formation of 3 in the middle? Does it change
Okay,
much?
let's do that then. Let's do this.
That's
Here we
fine.
go. That's a formation here. You got Allison in. People in the chat, of course. I'm not sure if you guys agree or not, but we're saying Allison for me, in my opinion, as well. And sorry, Ramon, your guy lost the first round. So going to the defenders, though, I'm going to start with the central defenders. This is a big dilemma. Let's put the names in that we think they are in contention. The names in contention. Who do we think? And have to be careful about who you're choosing because you only get 2 players from each club, right? Who are we choosing to play in the pair of the center backs?
Okay, as a Spurs fan, I'll admit Saliba definitely chewing.
Joachim Anderson
defender
from Crystal Palace.
Why?
Anderson, and for my club,
Yeah, go ahead.
and for my club, Van der Ven. So I'll choose Saliba and Van der Ven next to him.
All right. Anybody else wanna chime in for that?
What about
Yeah, I
Joachim
think
Anderson
I
from Crystal
agree.
Palace?
Who? Someone-
Joachim Anderson from Crystal Palace.
So hold on, Mark. So you think Joachim Anderson has been better than Virgil van Dijk, Van der Ven, and Saliba, or you're just because you like the guy?
Well, I think he's been at least better than Virgil van Dijk so far this season because he hasn't been great all season. He has been great for like the last 3-4 games, but Joachim Anderson has a better sample size from season performance all along. I mean, he even scored a winner against my team, so and it's not the only goal he scored this season. He's contributed with assists as well. So I think his performances all around is a better game. So he should be in the running for it.
I'm gonna be silent and ask the other people.
Mo,
Sorry, man,
you want
I'm
to change the
still
name?
thinking, eh?
Okay, so let's just establish something. Are we all agreeing about Saliba though?
Yeah,
I think
I'm going
everybody can
Saliba.
agree that
Yeah.
Saliba has been the best defender in the league. Has he better? So I have a question for you. Has he been better than Van der Ven?
I'd say he's the best in the league at the moment.
You're an
I'd say
Arsenal
he's the
fan.
best in the league.
We can't take you seriously in this.
I think a little bit better
well,
than
see,
Van der Ven. Just a little bit, not that much.
I was listening a lot to the debates between with Will and Kunle and others around between, for instance, the debate between Ramos and Saliba, because obviously the overall narrative is Saliba and is, because people can see what they can see on the eye. But, I'm not going to try to be a stat merchant or whatnot, but at the same time, there are other players. We haven't mentioned Konza. I think he's been playing really, really well for Villa. Who's the gentleman? I think the other couple, Joachim Anderson as well, have been performing very well. I think it's very easy to say Saliba because he looks so good on the eye, which is obviously what you're judging people by, and that's important too. But I think there are other players as well that can be looked at, like the ones I mentioned as well. So I don't know I think Saliba, when we played against him, Saliba and who was it? Gabriel. Like I think between them, they're very, very solid. However, I think they're better at when they got like a Callum Wilson type of number 9 who's going to be up against them and physical. But as soon as we brought on Gordon and had others kind of coming in from a little bit from inside the field off them, they struggled a bit. They didn't like to get pulled left and right. So I think someone like a Van der Ven, Konza deal with both situations probably slightly better than Saliba in my opinion. So I'll be open to a Van der Ven or a Konza over a Saliba in this case.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's why I asked Mo just now, because if you wanna stick to 2 players from each team, yeah, defense we got Van Dijk, and I just mentioned like Konza, so sorry.
I think you're all mad.
We could make it boring.
I
to say,
actually
look, Van
genuinely
Dijk,
think you guys are
Saliba.
all trying. I actually think you guys are trying to be different. William Saliba has been by far the best in the league, by far. Like, by far. On the eyes, watching him. The problem is the stats don't flatter him because he intercepts the ball before it happens. He has been absolutely immense. He reads the game better. So you don't see that on the stat because the ball is played long and he's already in the right place. He is absolutely class. And the fact is it going to be Van de Ven or Virgil van Dijk? You can choose, right? Let me just ask you something. Who are you going to choose for left back? So, because I think we all have to agree that Maddison will be on the team. We all agree on that, right? So if you choose Van de Ven, that means you doggy cannot be a left back and you have to choose somebody else. And also, in my opinion, I actually think that Virgil van Dijk, even over the last 4 or 5 games, has been better than everybody else. Actually, I actually think that. Virgil van Dijk has been absolutely great. William Saliba has been fantastic. Van de Ven has been great and everything, but I think Van Dijk, the way he reads the game, is ridiculous. Is absolutely ridiculous. He has been fantastic. But it's open to the vote. This is not my stream by myself. So do we all agree that Saliba should be there, or you guys think otherwise? I think
you know where my vote is, or Saliba. Like I said,
my
best
vote
in
is
the league.
So we have.
Let's
Saliba talk about the right center back. Do we think it's Saliba or somebody else? I vote Saliba. Anybody else vote Saliba?
Saliba.
Okay, so William Saliba as a right center back. The left one, the votes are between. I'm the only one who votes Virgil van Dijk. There is Van de Ven, okay? There is Joachim Anderson. Is that what we're saying? Or Virgil van Dijk? I'm going to start with Ramon. Who would you vote for?
Are we allowed, did you say 2 or 3 people from each team? Because you mentioned Madison.
2.
So how many people are we?
3 including the goalkeeper and 3 including. So now it's only 2 people.
Okay. So I'm not allowed to choose Van de Ven, Udogie, and Madison.
You can. No, you cannot. But actually, there is one more thing. We can actually change the formation to 3 in the back. Hear me out. This is an option if we want to do that. But it's your vote for the left center back at the moment.
So I've got to think tactics because I want Udogie to be my left back and Madison to be in there.
Be careful. You might choose Van Dijk, and we don't choose Udogie. You have to be careful about that. You have to be sure that we are choosing Udogie for that side.
I don't think he's got much competition, so yeah, I'll go. I'll Van Dijk.
We'll see about that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think it all depends on what you want. I mean, Van Dijk speaks for himself and what he's achieved and what he's done. I think it depends on what you want from our formation. Do you want the team to press up and to push forward? And if the other opposition try to throw in long balls over the defense, then Van de Ven is the person for the recovery tackles and everyone else. But I think Van de Ven is also very proactive and will also come up. And Ramon can correct me if I'm wrong. Would also press up with the midfield at times to support the midfield there, and I think I like those kind of forwards. I'm sure Van Dijk obviously does that for Liverpool, so it depends on what you want. I do like the pace of Van de Ven, his aggression, and how he goes on. So I prefer that kind of defender. So I would go with Van de Ven and then left centre back.
I'm shocked. No one is actually mentioning, Joachim Anderson. I thought you were going to choose him as well because I actually think he's a very good shout. I think he is consistently better than Van Dijk. Van Dijk has been good for like 4 games, as I say. I think he's been good for like 10. So I would rather give him a shout because he's been consistently better. Anderson.
So Philip, you voted Anderson?
No.
You voted Van Dijk?
No.
Van de Ven.
Yeah.
Okay. I voted Van Dijk. Ramon?
Anderson.
I wanna vote Van Dijk, but I have to consider about right wing though. Later on, isn't it?
Yeah, but Alisson is fine. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. No. You have to players from Liverpool.
Hey, the defense of Van Dijk and Saliba is so good. Seriously. Yeah, Van Dijk and Saliba.
Van Dijk and Saliba. So me Van Dijk, Ramones voted Anderson, Mark voted Anderson, Pax, you voted who?
Saliba. I was thinking about old Thiago Silva. I mean, he's been good recently, but probably go Van Dijk.
Not on this channel, but fine.
Even Chelsea, some Chelsea fans don't think he's been all that. I've heard like mixed reviews on Thiago Silva. Obviously, he is a legend. But
well, in the big games, he's been good. Like,
He's
you know,
never
when Chelsea show up.
Thiago Silva is not a legend in football. Can we just establish
Facts.
that?
That's facts. That's
Okay,
facts.
why Philip? Why is Thiago Silva a legend in football world, like in world football? He won the Champions League for Chelsea. So is what's his name? Chalobah won the Champions League with Chelsea. So is Kai Havertz. What did Thiago Silva do for world football that makes him a legend?
No, I think that's true. I think it's all definitions. I mean, he's a legend for Chelsea, but in terms of world
Is he a legend for Chelsea?
He's a legend for Chelsea. How?
Why is he a legend for Chelsea though?
It's a good question to ask Chelsea. I mean, whenever I hear them, the fans speaking about Thiago, like he's not untouchable, but he's held in not the same regard as obviously nowhere near kind of John Terry and the others, but he's somewhere just a level below that, I think, for the Chelsea fans.
So why is he a legend then? Or do we just
Ask the
throw
Chelsea
this
fans.
word
I
out?
don't know.
I think most Chelsea fans think like
So he had 2 seasons with Milan. He won the league with Milan, fair enough.
Yeah.
And then he chose the rest of his career for 9 years playing for PSG. Farmers
Okay.
League, winning left and right. Where they had super teams and didn't win the Champions League. They didn't even reach the final of the Champions League, if I'm not mistaken. They didn't. He actually went to Chelsea, if I'm not mistaken. They reached the final once during the COVID year when they played Bayern Munich, if I'm not mistaken. But in my opinion, I don't understand this notion that Thiago Silva is a legend of world football. Sergio Ramos is a legend of world football. He won a lot of trophies. I can actually put Carlos Puyol, who I don't like as much, as way ahead in Thiago Silva. World Cup winner, Euro winner, triple winner, right? Carlos, what did Thiago Silva do to world? Did he even change the way people look at defenders? I don't think he did. I think actually Van Dijk, when he went to Liverpool, changed the way people look at defenders sometimes with the way that called aura thing. This term, where forwards are afraid to go one-on-one, it happened with Van Dijk. So I'm not saying that Van Dijk is a legend, right? He's not Paolo Maldini. When I call a legend of football, I call Paolo Maldini, right? I call Franco Baresi, right? I call even Sergio Ramos, Franz Beckenbauer. These are the people that I call legend. I call elite or world class. I call Sergio Ramos. I say Rio Ferdinand. The people that won multiple trophies. That's my point. Thiago Silva, though, people think I'm hating on the guy. He's an absolute great defender. The way he reads the game with experience, the way he was aggressive when he was young. But he's not a legend in world football. He's not. He won the Champions League with Chelsea. Fair enough. You were a very defensive team and you won. John Terry as well. Of course, thank you so much, John Terry, winning the Champions League, leading the Chelsea line, all these finals and semi-finals he played. Yes. I don't think Thiago Silva is actually a legend in the game. Like, these people like to put him as a legend. I'm like, he's not. He isn't. And I'm sorry if I missed some names. I'm sorry if I missed some. People like say Cannavaro, Nesta. Yeah, I missed a lot of names. But this notion, I am not taking it, right? I'm not taking this. That Thiago Silva isn't a legend of the game.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay?
Agreed.
We're done here?
But he played for Brazil.
Agreed.
But Thiago Silva played for Brazil, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. What did his Brazil team do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
He holds 7.
I'm gonna come in with a Chelsea with Thiago Silva across the top. So
All right, then. Moving on. So it's we said it's Van
Dijk and Saliba.
Van Dijk and Saliba, people. Yeah, this is kind of the choices now. Van Dijk and Saliba are the ones. So at the moment, Saliba. Let's move to right back. Who would you guys shout as a right back?
Kieran Trippier.
Kyle Walker.
Okay. Can someone elaborate, please?
So yeah, I mean, I'll say for Kieran, obviously he's I think joint top in terms of assists, great defender as well, a captain, a leader, great communicator, very solid. Is going to give you 7, 8 out of 10 consistently, and has done this season as well. So
Yeah, has he done that this season? Actually, has he give you 7 out of 10?
100%.
You remember the first 3 games? It was very shaky. The first 3 games.
Those 3. Well, we'll be
Yeah, but
we beat Villa 5-1 in the first game. It was only.
And then after that,
we lost to Man City and Brighton and Liverpool, which was an unlucky game. But he played well in that one. But after that, it's all been solid, and that was mainly because of our midfield. But otherwise, it's been solid.
I actually think Kieran Trippier has been okay this year. The thing about Kieran Trippier, when he racks up these stats, people like kind of think, yeah, he has been absolutely great. I think Kieran Trippier this year is a little bit down from last year, a little bit down. He hasn't been performing the same level as last year, in my opinion.
He's been even better. He's even now began to go into our midfield. So sometimes when we push up, we push up with our centre backs. He'll go into the DM role. Has been dictating the play. He's totally revolutionizing how we're playing and how we're going on as a team. So for me, I think he's been better than an okay.
Anybody else would give a shout to Kyle Walker or even Pedro Porro?
For me, I won't put Porro, even though it's from my team. I think Porro, he gets dribbled past too much times. He's good at attacking, but still defensively suspect. But the 2 right backs who are probably just ahead of Trippier for me, Kyle Walker, just for he's actually, since last year, he's one of the few City players have kept up the level. I don't know, he gets older and he's still got that pace. And his pace, just like a game against, I think it was Sheffield United, he made a silly mistake, and then a couple of minutes later he shrugged himself off and ensured that they won the game. So Kyle Walker probably number 1, just ahead of Matty Cash at Villa. I think Matty Cash at Villa has been revolutionary this year under the system that they play now, and he's integral to their. His overloads, supporting the midfield and the front 3. So for me, the top 2 would be Kyle Walker just ahead of Matty Cash.
Anybody else want to? You guys can just come in whenever you want.
I'd say Matty Cash as well, because I think his performances are critical to Villa, where Villa is in the table. His goals and his assists has contributed to them winning a few games, and it's been consistently good performances from him. Even when they lose, he's played well. So I'd quicker suggest Matty Cash over Walker this season so far, because Walker's had some bad games.
Anybody?
I'm leaning more towards Trippier and Cash as well. I'm probably more Trippier. I like Trippier a lot, but yeah, I'm probably just going to go Trippier. I just think he's more solid.
I'm actually looking at it now. I actually don't think there has been a great right back in the league this year. The fullbacks have been one of the weakest positions in the league this year, in my opinion. But Kieran Trippier will edge it a little bit, because Kyle Walker, the problem is he's too defensive for me, to my liking, as a right back. Kieran Trippier is more balanced. He goes forward, but he also knows how to defend. He cannot defend as much. So that will be some. I will choose Kieran Trippier, in my opinion, for this one. I will choose Kieran Trippier for the right back. Anybody? Cash? Do you want to choose somebody else? Oh, Trent. You want to choose Trent?
No. No. I was thinking about Matty Cash and also Walker, but yeah, I think Matty Cash should be fine. He's right back, isn't it? I think I've seen his position was like right midfield. This is right back, is it?
Who?
Right back means good. He's good. Yeah. I think Matty Cash should be okay.
I actually don't think Matty Cash has been great. Actually, Matty Cash started the season all right. I think he has been okay. I think Kieran Trippier is better than him. I think far better than Matty Cash. I actually think that it has to be Kieran Trippier at this point. Anybody? So I'm voting Kieran Trippier.
Yeah, I'm voting Trippier.
So Trippier, then it is Kieran Trippier for the left back, people. For the left back, who are we choosing? Is it
Dan Burn?
Udogie. I would choose Udogie.
It's between. Do we think it's between Udogie and Dan Burn? That's it.
Oh, what about old Tomiyasu? Takahiro.
Yeah.
Tomiyasu like played like 3
I
games.
don't know. I don't know if I don't know if there's a. I'm not going to say when we say overrate. I don't think we overrate Odogi. It doesn't mean he's a bad player. I think he's a good player. I think he's aggressive and he's good in the tackle. But he does lose the ball a bit. He does. I think because he's great with the ball, and he's athletic. I think people get overawed by that. I do think he's questionable defensively. I think his mentality, he's rash. Tottenham were 10 men down. He could have he didn't need to foul the player and then get himself red carded as well. I think he's got a few things to learn there. I don't know why he would go into that slot for me, that left back slot. I think there's other players to consider to me.
Yeah, but I don't think anyone else really stands out, to be fair. No one else really stands out to say, well, they
Kai
deserve to be
Havertz
there ahead
scored a
of him.
banger and for the international window for Germany, so...
They lost, bro. They lost. 3-1.
We're not talking about the result, we're just saying he played there. That's all that matters.
Wasn't a good performance if he was left back.
Guys, how about Lloyd Kelly?
Someone who's new to the Premier League, and he came in his first game against Brentford, and you could see that he was one of the enforcers of Ange's style of football, the high press. And there's been games where he's won the ball high up the pitch. Liverpool, more last 97th minute against Sheffield United, which we scored a winner. He's young, he's going to be rash. He's got a bit to learn. He's not the finished article, but you can see that he's got an engine on him. He's always pressured from the first minute to the 96th minute. And yet he's going to make mistakes like he did against Chelsea. But you get older statesmen like Jota made a mistake against us for Liverpool. He's 2 reckless yellow cards, whether they were, whether they're not. Same, you're going to get mistakes. But I think his pro heavily outweighs his cons. I think we've missed out one name, though, that could be in the conversation, and that's City's Gvardiol. I think he's new to the huge price tag. Yeah,
so do we think if we choose Gvardiol, we won't be able to choose Rodri or Erling Haaland or Doku or Alvarez?
Well, if you're looking at City, it's going to be Haaland and Rodri. So that's why he's not going to get picked. If you're going to choose 2 people, then it's going to be Haaland and Rodri is going to get in the team ahead of Gvardiol's. But yeah, for me, Udogie, the way he's and you can tell by when we lost Udogie, I think it was the Palace game, and we had Ben Davis. We suffered and we got absolutely rinsed by I forgot the winger's name now, but he was just up and down on Davis. Whereas Udogie would have given him something to think about and would have been. I need to defend as well as attack. So no, for me, 100% Udogie left back.
Anybody else want to chime in? I actually love people just don't know that I actually like Dan Burn a lot as a football player in general. The way he plays, the way he understands the game is actually impressive. He's very big, he's very tall, but he moves the ball so easily. And he's one of the reasons that actually Newcastle can play the ball from the back. Him with Fabian Schär as Vin Botman. Like, you can tell the difference when he doesn't play. Like, Lewis Hall played, he didn't look as impressive. Even when Kieran Trippier played left and Livermore played right, the way Dan Burn plays the game is impressive, to be honest. Just people really don't like Dan Burn just because he's tall. Because he doesn't look like your average footballer. Because he's so awkward. People just think he's not good enough. But I would think Udogie is a very, very good shot. Anybody? Mark, Cash, Pax?
Well, I picked Udogie from the beginning, so.
For me, Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth. Kelly from Bournemouth. He's good. He can go forward. He can defend. He can intercept the ball. So it's like, I feel like, it's just he's playing in the Bournemouth team, but.
Well, I don't think you choose anybody that play in the Bournemouth team for 2 months.
I'm probably going to go with that guy from Brighton, who's from Ecuador or something.
He's injured for 5 games, though. He has been injured for 5-6 games.
Yeah, but that's how much the left backs are in the Premier League. There's no one that's like the right backs. There's no one that really.
That's why I wanted to change this to 3 in the back and actually ditch Kieran Trippier completely and play Van de Ven, Van Dijk, and Saliba. That would be my choice. But yeah, I would vote Udogie as well for now. Mark, vote Udogie or somebody else? So I think there is
Yeah,
Dan
Udogie.
Burn for 2. So I think it's going to be Udogie. So the back line, sorry, people, it has to be this as it is now. I don't know how to type Udogie. Udogie, I don't know. Yes, I found him. So this is how the team is looking at the moment, people. This is how it's a solid freaking back line. Saliba, Van Dijk, Kieran Trippier, and Destiny Udogie can fly forward. Now going to the midfield. How are we gonna do this? Are we gonna do 2 6s and a 10? How do you guys want to do that? I'm gonna start actually with Philip.
Yeah.
How do you think is the best combination in this midfield? It can be anyone.
Do you know what? I don't. I'm not too fixated on the numbers, and that might be because of my team. So we play with CMs. We play with central midfielders. There isn't one that's specified to be 8 or one that's specified to be a 6. They all interchange and play in that. And so if I'm looking at this midfield, I'm looking for a fluidity. People that can do a bit of both. Obviously, some midfielders have better strengths than others. The only complete midfielder I can think of right now who can do literally everything at a high quality is Rodri. Obviously, he can do the dirty work, but he's just quality on the ball. He can score on the other end. He's excellent. He's the only one I can think of that is the complete midfielder that can do all those jobs the same. Otherwise, you're going to have a combination of midfield, or you're going to have midfields where some players are better at being press resistant and can take the ball from the back. Others who are better on the final third. Others who are better at the water carrying and doing box to box. So for me, I look at it as, in my perspective, I look at the midfielders as from a CM point of view. I think, and like I mentioned, the only outstanding midfielder I can think of in terms of that can do a bit of everything would be Rodri, and everything essentially would have to be around him.
But Rodri has had a record that actually lost his team 6 points.
Yes.
So that takes away from him.
But it highlights his,
away from him.
and it also highlights how good he is.
Yeah, because they lost.
Yeah, he's still been better than everybody else.
He wasn't there.
I actually don't think that overall. I actually don't think that Rodri has been better than Declan Rice.
Oh no!
I actually don't think that Rodri this year.
No,
yes, he scored 5.
I agree with you, Mario. You're right.
Who hasn't? So let me explain to you. I'm not just saying. I don't say just statements, right? Rodri has a red card that cost his team 3 games. He lost to Newcastle, even though they threw the game out. Newcastle still played not a very good team out, and that team affected their performances in the league. They lost 2 games. They did lose 2 games in the league against Arsenal, and I think Rodri played a big part, and I think against Wolves. That's 6 points gone. One of them games is a 6-pointer against your direct contender for the league. And you weren't there because you decided to be rash and get that red card. That by itself shows that you were not consistent. In that game, Declan Rice was okay. In my opinion, I'm not saying people just misunderstand when I say that Rice has been better than Rodri. I'm talking about these 12 games. Declan Rice has been more consistent than Rodri. It's as simple as that. Sometimes people are just scared to say the truth. Declan Rice has played every single game other than 1 half against Spurs. Am I wrong? Or against Chelsea. 1 half.
Spurs,
right?
Yeah.
He has been way more consistent. Rodri missed 3 games this season already. 2 in the league that they lost. One of them is 6-pointers. You're just afraid to say it. I'm not saying Rice is an overall better player than Rodri.
I'm
but
afraid
he has
to
been
say
more
it because
consistent.
he's that good. It's like Rodri's just that good. Just
exactly.
give the guy
Rice has been more consistent. Do we agree on that? Even though he didn't play as a 6, he has been more consistent.
Yeah, but that's only in the argument that he played more games than Rodri. Because if you argue about the same amount of games, if it's the same amount of games, then Rodri is clearly better than Rice.
So let me defeat your purpose. How about a midfielder that plays 38 games for you, give you a 7 out of 10, and a midfielder that plays only 20 games for you and give you an 8 out of 10? Who would you rather have in your team? Who would you rather have in your team?
Well, Man City is on top of the league, so I guess it doesn't matter, right?
Okay, I'm talking about your point of view.
Well,
you just said that we cannot do the same. We cannot do, but I'm just telling you.
Games, if the 20-game midfielder wins me the 20 games every time he plays, I'll take that over the 7 or 6.
100%. Yeah. That's
You
exactly the
guys
same
think,
as
oh
when
my
you're talking
God.
about.
No, because
When you
like
talk
I
about-
feel like the team, I feel like rotation will happen anyway in the season. So there's going to be a point in time when Rice is either going to
But
be injured or
Rodri
out.
didn't have rotation last year.
Well, you
So
can say
that's
that,
my
but
point.
well, he didn't have rotation last season, but well, he was out this season, and Man City's still on top of the league, even though they lost.
Manchester City lost 2 points because those 6
They
points
lost,
because of
okay,
him.
but that don't mean you. Do you actually think that Arsenal is going to beat Man City the next time?
I actually think that if Rodri is there, that game might have changed.
Well,
Genuinely.
exactly. So then the next time Arsenal plays Man City, I think Man City will beat
But
them.
it's down to him. He wasn't injured. He decided to have a red card. And it's not even a tackle. The guy decided to choke somebody. How are we talking? What are we talking about?
I think to win this argument, Mo, you're kind of overemphasizing the whole disciplinary thing. Because,
of course, because in my opinion, the disciplinary thing is very important. Otherwise,
but you know,
we would look at Romero then.
But
Romero
he's not. How many times does he get red carded a season? It's not often. And I think
okay, that's not a point. How many times he got red card this season? Forget every time.
Okay, but
12
even
games.
so, even in the 9 games,
what's the Dogie doing in the team then? Because he got a red card. Like, that's what I'm trying to get the
By the
line.
way, your doggy got 2 yellows. The difference is your doggy got it for tackles, rash tackles.
I think you guys are missing a point.
Yeah, I understand.
I think you're missing a point. It's like there are 3 midfielders there. You can put Rodri and Rice together.
Actually, we can actually do that unless you guys think there's another midfielder should get there.
It depends what you want them to do, isn't it? Because I think it's harder to find a comparison to Rodri than it is to Rice. I think Rice looks so good because what I've come to discover is that Arsenal's midfield isn't that good. And he seems to shine because of that. When we played against them, and I can only have that as a milestone for a kind of view for myself, he knitted everything together for them. If Declan Rice wasn't in that midfield, we would have overpowered them totally. And he's their engine, he's their power. But when he gets into the final third, he does struggle a little bit, and he's not as good at dictating pace. I think his athleticism, his drive for the ball is amazing to behold, but what happens with that isn't always the same quality of what would happen with a Rodri, where you can use a Rodri to dictate play. The play would revolve around him. He can slow down the play, he can quicken up the play, he'll build up the attacks, he'll sniff out the play as well. So I think Rodri is just head and shoulders above him, and I think there's other people to compare to Declan Rice, really.
Anybody else?
I
think
Declan Rice makes the team because like Declan Rice has been good, but Rodri is like I don't even need to think. Like, so that 2 people in the league where you're like automatically, they're going to start on everyone's team of the year is Haaland and Rice. Like, pretty sure like 99% of anyone who follows the EPL has it in the back of their head. They're my team of the year regardless. Because if I was to draft a team, those 2 would be number 1 and 2 pick.
I think Bruno's better than Rice.
Guys, imagine this. You've got 3 midfielders, right?
Bruno Guimaraes has been better than Rice. All right.
Yeah.
This season.
And
okay.
And if we're talking about,
got a mean push on him, bro. I'm just saying.
Will here is saying that Virgil van Dijk got a straight thread. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me respond to that. Because you guys are like, you guys don't know. Virgil van Dijk got a straight thread that cost his team points. The record he got against Newcastle, they won that game. The game after, when he was suspended, they won against Aston Villa. The game after, they won. I think they won against Aston Villa and then they won against Wolves. They won against Wolves.
So the red card only matters.
But let me tell you,
only matters if the team loses.
No, let me tell you
Guys,
let me tell you the difference.
So that means Van Dijk
Can I say one sentence?
To Liverpool.
Philip, can I say one sentence? There is a difference in someone putting in a tackle, not rush. That red card of Van Dijk was very questionable. It was red card last night.
That was awful. That was awful.
Van Dijk escaped some red cards last season as well.
That was an old man challenge. That was a challenge. I can't be.
Are you done? Are you done, Philip? So you want me to? You finish your sentence.
We all played ball before. Come on.
Hold on. Go ahead.
So Isak rolled him, and he
Yes.
couldn't be bothered to do the recovery run with him because he knew he was going to get beaten for pace. And that was he just gave him one old man tackle, and he got red carded for him. It was an awful challenge.
Okay.
There's nothing to say about
You
it.
finished? I played
Yes,
the ball.
sir.
But what Virgil van Dijk did is that he's put his foot in front of Isak, and then he got the ball. It's something that a lot of defenders do. It was deemed that it was last man. The tackle itself wasn't awful at all. He didn't injure Isaac. He didn't do anything about it. I think he just was a little bit late to the tackle, and he put his foot in front of Isaac. Go watch it. That's the difference between someone that is putting in a tackle to clear the ball or trying to play the ball, and if this tackle was inside the 18, by the way, it would not have been a red card. It was going to be a penalty and a yellow card. That's the difference, because he was trying to play the ball. And that was the explanation of the referees, by the way. The difference between someone who does that and someone who chokes somebody or someone who is trying to injure somebody is completely different. What Virgil van Dijk did isn't trash. Virgil van Dijk got rolled. Fair enough. He got outplayed. You said that. It's absolutely clear, right? And it's a red card because it's a tackle from outside the 18 preventing goal scoring opportunity. It was not rash. It was not a bad tackle. He didn't injure the player. He didn't choke the player. That's the difference. He cost his team with a red card. Yes, they didn't lose the game, right?
Yeah, I think you're overrating the choking. It was literally a push in the net. Come on, he wasn't like attacking him like you would on a Saturday night.
It was off the ball. It was on the
no.
Okay, it was off the ball or on the ball. Off the
It
ball
doesn't matter. There's both of them got straight red cards.
Oh, you guys think that both of them are the same?
No,
the
I don't
Forest
actually
player
think
overreacted.
that, but
One
I'm
of
just
them is
saying they
called
both get
serious
red
foul
cards.
play, and one of them is called a violent conduct.
And also,
We've seen dodgy red cards given to other players from other teams, so I don't think
Hey man, I've
there's
seen
I know
players
there's
that haven't been
something- you're
red carded.
bringing
You know
somebody
that are
else.
pretty
You're
dangerous.
bringing,
Think about
I'm
it like
talking
this,
about
right?
these two
Oh,
situations.
Bruno
One of them is called.
Guimaraes.
One of them is called. It's a violent conduct by Rodri. The other one is a serious foul play.
Okay.
That's it. It's completely
and
different.
also you need
So,
to sorry, you need to also do like for like. So, for example, you're talking about Van Dijk's 3 games back. They didn't lose any points. They had home games. You said Villa, but City, they had 3 away games without Rodri against Newcastle in the League Cup, Wolves, which isn't tricky as Spurs found out, and at Arsenal. So if Liverpool had those 3 games, who would say that they would have won all
just
3?
conceded an own goal. Liverpool won away against Wolves. That Van Dijk, same game.
Okay, so Wolves, but if they went to Arsenal and if they went to Newcastle,
Hold on. But I get what you're saying, but they lost against they won against Wolves 3-1 without Van Dijk. Man City lost. Same thing.
That's because their forward line is so
That's
good.
50%.
They don't need defense. And that's the difference. Whereas Rodri is the main engine of that City team.
And that's why he's so important. I agree with you. Anyway, I think
everybody has a moment of madness.
We are deviating. I think
we're going
if we're gonna say,
okay, Mo, in Inter Milan, would you take Inter Milan? Would you take Rodri or Rice? You take Rodri. So end of subject. Put Rodri in.
Hold on, but that's wrong. We're not assessing that. Okay, let me ask you something. Can I defeat your argument?
Defeat as much as you like.
I'm gonna ask you a question. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Would you take Maddison or Kevin De Bruyne in your team? Forget anything. Who's a better player? I'm gonna ask everybody on the panel. Who's the better player, James Maddison or Kevin De Bruyne? Don't be scared to answer.
De Bruyne.
Oh, De Bruyne.
De Bruyne. If we're doing team of the season now based on the 12 games, would you put De Bruyne or Maddison?
Maddison.
That's it. Done.
Maddison.
Conversation over.
But he hasn't played.
Ramon.
He's been injured though.
But my point is, you're asking me something. I'm talking about the first 12 games. Who has performed better for me? I think Declan Rice has been more consistent. It's simple. I don't know why is that so outrageous to people. I don't know why is that so outrageous to people.
Because
Rodri's value over the 10 games is more of an impact than
100%.
Rice
100%.
over 12.
You guys think that
City have got one extra point.
It's a conversation. Fine. I get what you're saying. If it's your opinion that Rodri has outperformed Rice in the first 12 games, I will accept that. It's an opinion. But I just don't like that people are thinking that it's just an outrageous. It's exactly when I said Maddison, I will take Maddison over Odegaard. People say that's outrageous. If you think Rodri is better, it's fine. I wouldn't say it's an outrage. It's fine. I will accept the conversation. I will try to debate my point, and if I concede, I concede.
Yeah,
More, it's more like this. Rodri, I think in case of Rodri, it's more like proven. You know, that's why people like, they are choosing him. They've proven he's a proven player. Declan Rice
No, but
he's starting.
Okay, so we're
Oh,
putting.
he shows
Can
up
we just?
when it
Declan Rice
matters
has been
too.
in the league for
Pax
years, man.
hasn't
Like,
even
what are you talking about
defended his
proven?
player, and I am trying to defend the player.
Nah, it's like, because, you know, like, if you look at when it comes to clutch moments, like the most recent game, Chelsea versus Man City, like, who got the banger to, like, put City ahead and showed up right when it mattered? Same thing in the Champions League final. Like, Rice is bad, but, like,
But that's
come
not
on, man.
Champions League
It's like,
final. But hold on,
no,
let me
I'm
ask
just
you
saying,
something.
look at
Do
the
you
times
think-
when it's mattered. Rodri has showed up and
Do you
banged
think
him a goal to
Rodri
give his team the
performed
lead.
well? Okay, so let me ask you something, Pax. Do you think Rodri performed well against Chelsea? He scored a
No,
deflected
but he
ball,
showed up
fair
when
enough.
it matters. Like, that's
No,
a
no,
big
hold
time
on.
player. Any
What do you mean he
sport,
showed?
when you show
What do you mean he showed when it mattered? He scored a deflected
he
goal.
showed
Why is
up
that?
when it mattered. So when the game's on the line, he delivered. Any sport, Michael Jordan, when the game's on the line under those clutch moments, homeboy showed up. That's what I'm saying. Declan
So-
Rice is
and-
bad.
but
I
Pep-
like
Do you
him.
know that I
Declan
actually
Pep threw him
think
under.
I
Pep threw him
actually
under the bus, and you'll never play those tactics again.
I
Against
actually
Chelsea, he
think
tried something
that
different. And-
Rodri against Chelsea wasn't a great player. I
That
actually
was the
think
tactics.
if your team concedes 4, that
Yeah.
means as a midfielder you didn't do your job.
Yeah, I think that game was insane though. I don't even think you can
Yeah.
put him on it. I think
It's not only him, by the way. I'm not
Yeah, that
saying him.
was a
It was
structural-
one of them. Diaz as well wasn't great. Gavardiol wasn't great. But
yeah.
you can't fault the offensive players, though. I know Rodri scored at the end the deflected goal. Good shot and everything, but it was very deflected. I can come back and say, but Rice scored a banger against Chelsea from a mistake that is very hard to score. Well, anyway, it's a conversation. We have to move on. So you guys are saying we put Rodri in as a start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you guys don't think we should put Rice in that?
Oh,
at
yeah,
all?
Rice goes in for me. Yeah, definitely.
Probably.
But
I think
not
Bruno,
for them. It doesn't look
think
like
Bruno.
for them.
Oh,
I
no,
think-
I'm going
I think
Rodri,
the-
but I'm also having Rice
I-
in the midfield as
So
well.
I think the combination of Rodri, Bruno, and Maddison is the total package for a midfield. You've got a Maddison who can go into the number 10, excellent in terms of his final third, his pass and everything that goes there. Bruno, who's the ultimate press-resistant player who can interchange with Rodri in the number 6 and number 8, and Rodri obviously speaks for himself. Rice is excellent. It's not to say that Rice is poor or bad. He's excellent. He's athletic. He can drive with the ball. He can do that. But when he gets into the final third, it's not great. And it depends all what you want for your midfield. I think with Bruno, Rodri, and Maddison, you've got a combination of power, control, dictation of play, and finishing. I think that's the best midfield you can get.
If you guys hadn't nominated Van Dijk, I would have said Dominic Szoboszlai, because I think as a player he's been amazing this season. Like I almost wished we had got him instead of Liverpool, because
He
his
could play right
impact
wing.
has been, but you can't have him and Salah, who should definitely start in right wing at team of the
Fair.
season. You know what I
But
mean? So
Salah's
I
left,
think
isn't he?
Right.
Salah's right wing.
He's on the right.
Salah's
Okay.
right wing.
Right.
But like Dominic Szoboszlai should be in this team. Like I don't know why we forced in Van Dijk.
Why
when we
do you
could
think
put it-
Dominic Szoboszlai should be on this?
Because in my opinion, he's one of the best midfielders so far this season. Like he comes up clutch for Liverpool countless times, and his way of play, he breaks up play, he passes the ball well, he scores goals, he can dribble, he has a lot of successful dribbles. He's a very good player. He's influential to the midfield of Liverpool right now in every game they play. So I think that's big, because it's mostly because of him. I would say that him and Salah is why they are where they are in the league right now. So I think not having him in this team is a miss. Even not having Douglas
I wouldn't
Luiz as
have him
well.
in the team at all. Like for me, Dominic Szoboszlai has been good, but he hasn't been a Maddison, in my opinion. He hasn't, like, I'm sorry, Dominic Szoboszlai has been good. He hasn't been a Maddison. Like, come on, just.
But he's been better than
not
Declan
for
Rice
me.
for sure.
Douglas,
You're talking about midfielders.
you think that Szoboszlai
Yeah.
has been better than Declan Rice?
Yes, I think his performances are very crucial to Liverpool. Like, he's shadowed by Salah, bro. Because Salah is great and he's amazing.
What do you mean he's shadowed by Salah? The guy has 3 GA as an attacking midfielder for Liverpool, one of the deadliest attacks in the league. He has 3 GAs, 2 assists and 1 goal.
his play in the midfield, it leads up to a lot of their attacking goals and stuff. If you look at the games, if you're not talking just on statistics and you're talking about looking at the
I
eye
think
test as
Douglas
well.
Luiz has been better than Szoboszlai.
Yep.
Szoboszlai has been good, but Douglas Luiz has been absolutely I think people are. I know the media talks about Szoboszlai. I know Liverpool fans talk about Szoboszlai. He has been great. He has been very, very good, Dominic Szoboszlai. But there are outstanding players in the league, in my opinion. When I say outstanding, that means without them, the teams fall short. Like, in my opinion, there's a lot of players that has been absolutely class in this league. One of them is how James Maddison is performing, for example. An attacking midfielder, Julian Alvarez. Let's just talk about Julian Alvarez behind Haaland. How good has Julian Alvarez been as a third midfielder behind Haaland? That's an outstanding performance. Dominic Szoboszlai, part of the machine, doing his job, very, very good, right? Very good. But I don't think he's the outstanding player for Liverpool, in my opinion. But anyway, it's opinion.
He will be in the future. He's going to be in the future.
Exactly, which is, I never doubted that. But the way people talk about him today is that he is now at the level of how Odegaard was performing for Arsenal last year. No, he isn't. Emmanuel here is giving us, he said Arsenal have the lowest SG against us, XG, because of Rice. He has been immense, in my opinion, but thank you, Emmanuel, for that. But we need to go, guys. We've been an hour and we need to move on with this team, to be honest. Can we decide? Do we know that we're going to put Maddison in there? Anybody disagree with that?
Yeah.
Nah.
This is a fantastic midfield. Rodri, Paqueta, Maddison.
That's the same
That's the same
as Rodri, Bruno, and Madison. That's the same.
Bruno who?
Saying.
I'm sorry.
Bruno Gomes.
Bruno G.
I actually think Bruno Gomes this year has not been good at all.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think you're the only one on any panel that I had that actually praising Bruno Gomes this year.
Okay. What's been bad?
He has been rash. His passing, I think every time I'm watching him, he's rash. For some reason, he's not leading the midfield as before. I actually think he lost a touch. I think he's missing some passes that are crucial. I think he's passing some good ones, but I don't think he has been. I'm watching Bruno Gomes. He's not as controlling as last year. That's what I'm thinking. And I'm not going into stats or anything because I'm not going into stats of Rodri. I'm not going into stats of Declan Rice. I'm telling you what I watch with my eyes. Bruno Gomes is one of the reasons why you lose some games this year.
Yeah, but
because he's not performing well. And he's not the only one.
I think he's been overshadowed by Joe Linton, I think.
Who? Bruno Gomes? Overshadowed by Joe Linton? I don't know how. I think
maybe we don't listen. I don't know.
Philip? It depends on what you want in terms of the midfield. I think he's been excellent in his performance. If you got a Declan Rice,
I don't think he's been excellent this season, man. I think that's far-reaching to say that Bruno Gomes has been excellent this season. I mean, he hasn't shown up in any of your Champions League games. He hasn't shown up in the PL games mostly this season. He's actually not one of the midfielders in your team that's been kind of just getting by with decent performances, to be honest. From my opinion.
Well, our midfield is one of the most creative midfields in the league. It's one of the most robust, one of the most athletic, one of the most pressed.
Last season, Bruno Gomes was like very much contributing. We're doing this like a factor. Well, right. So then you can't be talking about him this season as well because he's not been outstanding. Like I think Dominic Szoboszlai has been better than him this season.
But we're talking about Declan Rice and Bruno Gomes. I'm not arguing against Szoboszlai. I think we're talking about two different profiles of what we're asking for. I'm comparing Bruno Gomes and Declan Rice, and I think Bruno Gomes does a 6 and 8 role better than Rice. He is more creative. He's part of a midfield that's more creative. He breaks the line. He's better at pressing. I mean, I think why Declan Rice looks so good is because Arsenal's midfield isn't that great. And I think that's what people are looking at.
Wait, say that again. What's Bruno better than Rice?
Yeah. Say it again.
He said he plays the 6 and the 8 better than Declan Rice.
I disagree with that.
Oh yeah, I'm not sure about that one, bro. Like, yeah, honestly, like the biggest highlight from Bruno G this year is probably that smack he did on Jorginho. But like, other than that, he's been okay. Like. Declan Rice, he's been he literally is the midfield for Arsenal. Like this whole year, Odegaard's been like.
But that's the
average.
problem, isn't it? That's exactly my point. Your midfield is that weak that someone like a Declan Rice outshines it. Our midfield is stronger than yours, and so it's harder for Bruno Guimaraes to outshine, to look more outstanding. That's my whole point. If I had Jorginho and whoever else in there, Bruno Guimaraes is going to look impeccable, and that's the problem. So that's my whole point. It's essentially you got an A-star student amongst C-class students, and he just looks amazing. But put him amongst other A-star students, he looks the same. That's my whole point.
Okay, listen. We have to listen. I'm not looking to stay here for a while. We need a third midfielder. Bruno Guimaraes. Anybody voting for Bruno Guimaraes? Yes or no? No, he's out of the question.
No, man.
Anybody,
for me.
No. I just listen. I don't like. We have had so much debate on this, right? Is anybody voting for Declan Rice as the third midfielder? Who is voting between Declan Rice? Is anybody else want to put in another name? Douglas Luiz? Yeah, I think
Madison, Declan Rice, and Rodri. Madison, Declan Rice, and Rodri.
There is Rice. There is Paqueta. There is Rice. Between Rice, Paqueta, and Douglas Luiz. This is what I'm thinking. Anybody who's gonna vote for one of these? I'm gonna vote Declan Rice.
Declan Rice.
Luiz.
Douglas Ramon.
I'll give it to Rice.
Rice. Cash.
Rice.
All right, Philip. I know you're gonna vote
Let me
Bruno.
Paqueta,
Between the three, you prefer Paqueta.
Yes, sir.
For me, also, I would actually, because of that rule, that the attacking eight, I'll put Paqueta, but the votes are went to Declan Rice. So just to put that on record,
yeah.
If the 8 rule, I'll put Paqueta there. If the 6, I would have voted Rice over Rodri.
What about Kai Havertz?
For this year.
No.
So now we
he
have
gets in the box and does nothing. Not only is he a left back, he can play everywhere else.
So it's Rice and then Madison. Now going forward, on the right side, we all agree that it's going to be Mohamed Salah, or somebody else was going to say Saka or something.
No,
We've got 2 Arsenal players already, isn't it?
Yeah,
Salah.
Salah is undebatable.
So we all agree it's going to be Mo Salah at this moment, right?
Yep.
Now going to be the left and the striker. This is going to be a little bit tricky because you choose Haaland. If you choose Haaland up top, I think Haaland is the obvious choice. But there is Son, but we already have. No, we have 2 Spurs. We have to have Haaland up there. We agreement that we have to have Haaland in there. Or somebody else would say, is anybody think Son should be there? To be honest,
No,
if
I
we
know
didn't have
Watkins.
2 Spurs players, would anybody think that it should be Son up there? Young man Son.
Son, Haaland, and Salah would be a dream.
But we can't.
line.
Son has not played left wing the whole season, so he has to be a striker. Son isn't in contention for a left winger.
But he moved from left
to striker. No, but he hasn't. That's the thing. He hasn't played left winger this year, so we can't choose him as a left winger this year. Is that I think this is it. So up front, are we all agreement on Haaland, or someone wants to choose Ollie Watkins or something?
Yeah, I was going to debate Ollie Watkins because I was considering nominating Doku for the left wing because of his performances recently. So I was thinking Ollie Watkins deserves it. I mean, he had 2 hat-tricks this season. That shows you already how good he is in front of goal this season.
That shows you that he goes missing on other games as well. Does that?
Well, as well, he goes missing, but so does Haaland. You know what I mean? So you can't really argue that too much this season. Haaland hasn't been great this season.
I actually think that Pedro Neto, it's his side, that left winger, without a question, in my opinion.
Okay. I forgot about him. Yeah, Pedro Neto.
Isn't he injured?
Pedro Neto, but he already played 10 games. We're doing team of the season based on the first 12 games. Even if he was injured last 2 games, the guy has the most assists in the league as a left winger, the most GA in the league as a left winger. There is no question that he has been absolutely fantastic. If anybody else have a different choice,
I think it was a good call about Ollie Watkins. I think obviously he's not as popular as Erling Haaland, and obviously he he can play across the front three. He not just through centre, but left and right. His work rate. He's a different player to Haaland. So it depends what you want from the team. But obviously, Haaland, if you want to put the ball in the back of the net, he's your man. But if you want an overall game play, I think it's Ollie Watkins. But obviously, I think you want to win the game, it'll be Haaland.
So anybody,
How
so
about
between
Isak?
Watkins and Haaland up top. So number one, it depends on the left side. Are we doing Neto or Doku, or somebody want to choose somebody else?
Neto, man.
I'm voting Neto here.
I'd probably go Neto.
On the left.
Yes.
Neto
Yeah, I
pretty
think
good.
I know what Philip wants to say. You want to say Anthony Gordon?
Compared to Neto.
Yes. This season.
It all depends, isn't it? And again, it all depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking at it rationally in terms of what you want, because we can just go off of names and say, "Oh, it can't be Anthony Gordon. Look at his haircut; he's not going to win anything." Or we're going to look at, what has that player done so far in his 12 games? He's got 4 goals and 2 assists. He's played in nearly all of our games, Champions Leagues, League Cups, and as well as obviously the Premier League itself. He's dragged us through some of our games in terms of the League Cup as well, getting us the win, helping us to get the win over the Man City. So he's been absolutely inspirational for our team. Obviously, Neto, I think, is a cool and fashionable thing to say, Neto, but even more than that, he's a great player. But I think if we're actually comparing players, we have to look at what they've done and what they're achieving. I don't know what the stats are on Neto. I don't know how much he's doing. Against us, he was absolutely dangerous. But if I'm looking at Anthony Gordon, he's been consistent in his performances and consistent in his outcomes. So yeah, based on that, I would choose Gordon.
Anybody else want to chime in for that? Just to let you the stats. Neto has 8 GA, so he's at 7 assists and 1 goal.
Excellent.
I like Anthony Gordon. Has surprised me this year. I just don't think that he has been very good for the level I expected from him. But I don't think he's compared to Neto or even Doku, in my opinion. Like, I think.
Oh no, Raheem Sterling's been pretty good. Like
Raheem Sterling has up and downs, right? Like, but he has been good in the last.
I'd chuck his name in there. Like, he deserves a shout.
For me, Doku and Neto. Jeremy Doku and Neto was good on the left hand side.
So are we between? So anybody voting for Anthony Gordon? I think there's an agenda against Newcastle on this panel. But yeah, I'm not sure if anybody is voting for Anthony Gordon. So because that will decide the forward between Doku and Neto. Who are we voting for the left winger?
Probably go Neto.
Yeah, if we're going to put Haaland in the middle, we've got to put Neto there. And I've been listening to you guys. I don't know how Haaland and Watkins is a conversation. You guys just Watkins is not even half the level of Haaland, and I know who I'd take in my team. And yeah, his first 12 games, but look, Haaland scored more goals than him, and they're more. If they lose Haaland, Man City lose Haaland. Ollie Watkins is lost in Villa; they can replace him. But no, ridiculous takes. Haaland all the way for me.
Anybody else?
No, man, Neto all the way.
Neto. So that means forward is Haaland for sure. We're not just ignoring Haaland and putting Ollie Watkins because we chose Neto on the left. Is that?
No, I'm putting Doku. I'm doing Doku.
Okay, I'm voting Neto. Anybody else voting Neto with me?
Neto.
So 3 Neto. All right. Okay. What about the forward? Is it Haaland or?
It's Haaland.
All right then. So we go, people.
What already?
How many Man City players are in that?
2.
Okay.
It's only Rodri and Haaland, Madison, Salah, and Van Dijk. I think, people, this is the team. I think this has been the strongest team of the season so far, without any I actually think this is it. Anybody that tries to do something else, I think they're just trying to be different, in my opinion. But listen, this has been an absolutely fantastic stream. Thank you for all the guys that joined in, of course. Mark, United, Toon Tactics, of course. Go Toon Tactics. Go give him a subscription. Watch his videos, of course. Toon Tactics TV. It's in the description as well. Cash, it's been an honor having you here. Ramon, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Pax, thank you so much for being here with us, guys. I enjoyed this so much. Tomorrow afternoon, people, 1 p.m. We got Tom, and probably, I don't know, Nobbins or not, I don't know, but Tom is confirmed. So tomorrow, people, will see you at 1 p.m. UK time. Thank you. Stay on this stream. It will take you to Staffy TV, and he's doing a Q&A, so you can enjoy that. Thank you so much. Please, people, for joining us. Hit that like. Get us to 200 likes before you go. Absolutely phenomenal stream. Thank you for all the members that are supporting the channel. Appreciate you, people. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you for sticking by us. Thank you. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. We're out.
See you guys.